Hello, and welcome back to Pride, a living room series. My name is Paola Sanchez-Abreu, and I am your guest host today. I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, that's not Claudia. Who's that girl? Why is she here? My friends, I'll tell you why. Today is a very special episode because it's the last episode. I know, right? Today we are actually going to interview the creator. And obviously she can't ask herself all the questions. So she pulled me in, she wrote me in, she convinced me. So here I am. As you know, our creator has spent the last 2 months bringing in members of the queer community and giving them a platform to share their stories. And so now we're flipping the table around, we're putting her on the other side of it, and we're asking the questions. I'm so excited. I hope you are too. Please welcome to the show, our guest and our creator, Claudia Rivera. Thank you so much for joining me today, Claudia. How are you doing?
Well, first of all, thank you for hosting this episode. I am good. I'm nervous. I am finally experiencing what all of you guys have experienced being a part of this crazy project.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and also tell us a little bit about why you started Pride, a living room series?
I was born and raised in Puerto Rico. I was there for 18 years of my life. I've always been very outspoken about my beliefs, and I tend to be very vocal about them, which is one of the reasons why I created this show. I currently live in LA. I love movies. I love the arts. I love people. I love my friends and my family. I love my dog, Waffles.
Waffles!
And I like the beach, because I'm an island girl and the ocean calls me.
I feel that.
The reason why I started this show in the first place goes back to home in Puerto Rico. Before I started the show, which aired in June 1st, they were updating the civil code in the island. Things that they were trying to pass were going to affect the LGBTQ community and women's rights as well. Since COVID was happening and we were going to be forced to stay inside, we're not going to be able to celebrate Pride and be kind of like out in the streets and loud about it. I was just trying to figure out a way to keep this on the map because it was very important for that reason. And then June 1st, which is when Pride would start, the civil code was signed, so it actually passed. It has a lot of things that, like I said before, affects the community. For example, it limits people to amend their birth certificates in a way that it's consistent to your gender identity. A right that trans people had since 2018 suddenly has changed, and they're just using a lot of ambiguous language. So for example, when it comes to marriage, they use words like it goes to two natural humans, which again, it's not stating that it's going to affect the community, but right, it could be used in a way that it's like, oh no, but the civil code says this.
Definitely being manipulated.
Exactly. So it just has a lot of that. And then since 2020 started, there have been at least 5 murders in the trans community in the island. So, it was just something that I had to do something about it. The community needs a voice. The community needs to keep being heard. So I did this, and I tried to find all the voices that I could from all different stories and all different backgrounds, and hopefully everyone back home has had the beautiful experience of learning and just seeing that just because we have a certain preference doesn't mean that we're different. We love the same way that everyone loves, or we look the way that we do, but we're still the same human beings, like nothing changes about us. We're not aliens. We're not someone that is out there to be or to do wrong things in the world. We're humans.
Do you remember the first time that you engaged with public displays of affection after coming out?
I do have one that is the first thing I think about when we're talking about this. I was with my partner at the time. We were in New York, and we were walking in Manhattan, and we were holding hands, and this guy said something very misogynistic about this thought that because he's a man and we're 2 women, that we're automatically want to have sex with him, because that's what we do, right? We see a man and we just want to go right ahead and have all the sex. That kind of marked my life in a way, and kind of opened this door of like, oh shit, this hard part is not over. It's just starting. And it was really uncomfortable for me to dive into PDA when I came out. I just felt everyone staring at me, which they do. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still not normal.
It's not normalized.
Normalized, right? It's normal, but not normalized. That's very important to establish. I am very physical with my love, not just because you're my partner, but even if you're my friend, you know,
Yeah.
like being self-conscious about expressing or showing love in public to my person, partner, whoever I date at the moment I am dating. Like it's just terrible. Yeah.
It's interesting to think about how even if nobody's staring at you, you feel like people are looking at you because it's so not normalized that it's not even normalized for yourself. So in your head, you feel like all eyes are on you, even if they're not, because there's so much like internalized homophobia that you're working through, especially in early on coming out, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
What have been your biggest moments of doubt in your journey in the queer community?
Okay, let me think. I think it goes back to the first moment I realized that I was into a girl. I thought that something was wrong with me. I have liked men for my whole life, and suddenly it switched. Now I can see that, oh, I didn't switch. I was just repressing those feelings. When I finally accepted that side of me that liked women, I went through a process of, is this just a phase or is this actually who I am? And then being bombarded by what other people thought from the community and from like the mod community part. I was just a big question mark because I wanted to meet the expectations of the queer community by just choosing to be something, and at the same time trying to make sense for the people who aren't in a part of the queer community. I just went through a phase where it was just really hard for me to just be and exist and make sense of myself. And it really messed me up because I felt so much pressure from the outside. And yeah, I just felt like what I was wrong.
Yeah.
When I was coming out, I had people from the community who were like, oh no, you're gay. And then I had people from the non-community like, oh no, if you can't be bi or anything, you have to like pick one. And it was like, okay, so if I have to pick one and I was with a girl, then that means that I'm probably a lesbian. And you know, and I'm okay with labeling myself that, but at the same time, I don't like to have that pressure on that says like, no, you can only be this. Because, you know, I surprised myself being a woman. Like, you know,
you don't know when you're gonna surprise yourself again.
Exactly. I mean, I definitely enjoy myself more with women.
Yeah.
Women are just wonderful, but it's still something I'm struggling with.
We all fall under this queer umbrella and we can identify within there, but there's like so much fluidity throughout your life, and getting comfortable with that is difficult in like a really binary society.
Yeah. Well, also like I just didn't know that I was going to have these many options when I
I know. What was the last time that you laughed so hard that you cried?
I have to show you. It was Mother's Day this year. And my sister just had a baby, right? So it was her first time celebrating Mother's Day. So I was at her place and everything was fine. And then my aunt sent her like this little onesie for the baby to wear that said something like my first Mother's Day. So when they finally put the onesie on him, he would not stop crying. Like it was just like we were trying to take pictures so that we could send it to our aunt so that she could see that, you know, he wore it. Yeah. But like he was just not having it. So we took the picture and this is how he came out. And then I don't know why in my brain I automatically pictured this. Was Jesus. I just couldn't stop laughing.
The side by side is so good.
It was such a beautiful moment. Like, it was literally like 25 minutes of me just like looking at these two pictures and laughing.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
What is like your dream romantic getaway?
Pre-COVID?
Oh yeah, pre-COVID.
Being in a boat in the middle of the ocean at night where you can see the stars and the moon and everything is fine with the world. I think that would be a romantic getaway. Should be just so quiet. I don't know, like you would be with a person that you love, and then you would be with nature and the night. Honestly, like the stars without any sort of like pollution, no lights, no anything. It's just so wonderful, and you see so many wishing stars. You know, you can wish so many times that your love to last forever. I don't know.
Oh, that's so corny.
Yeah. I hope it's romantic.
What's your favorite thing that you learned about yourself?
Well, there's just two things that are like popping up. One of them is, if there is something that I've learned that I have that I love, is to be brave. It's just something that has kind of fueled me in every step I take. Without it, I don't think I would have been able to do any of the things that I did, you know, including the show. Moving to California, knowing no, like, you know, I'm just really grateful that the experiences I've had, that growing up, my parents kind of like guided me through a way to follow my heart and follow my dreams and trust my gut, that, you know, that I know what will be best for me. And then just that I'm gay. Honestly, that's like one of my favorite things. Like, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm gay.
I am so happy too. Because if you weren't, I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah.
Now it's time for our final segment called The Last Guest Asked You a Question That You Now Get to Answer.
Okay.
Madeline asked,
if you could go back in time and tell little baby pre-gay Claudia one thing, what would it be?
That's a hard question. I would say that there is still so much to learn. There is a lot that you still don't know that you're going to be exposed to soon, and it will change your life for the better. It will change your life for the worse for a little bit, but then it's going to get so good. I would tell her to just keep being herself and to keep doing what she's doing, honestly.
the thing of like, there's still so much to learn. I feel like I tell myself that every single day.
Yeah, there's still so much to learn. Everyone out there is still so much to learn.
How do you? Well, this was such a lovely interview. Thank you so much for choosing me of all people to host.
Well, what a way to
so
close
much
this
for-
circle.
Yeah, and thank you so much for doing this. This has been such a source of joy for me over the course of the last 2 months. So thank you.
Thank you for being a part of it.
To close out, is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
Yes, today I want to light a candle with everyone, wherever you are. Just set an intention, and this candle today will send the energy so that you can carry that intention that you're trying to carry with you through the day. Grateful and thankful. My sister gave it to me. There we go. So it's going to take like 10 seconds for everyone to think about it and set your intention. Beautiful. Candle. I'm not in hell, I swear.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Pao, for doing this.
Love you.
I love you too. And with
that, we finish our first season of Pride, a living room series. Thanks for joining and following this journey filled with beautiful stories. I have never been more proud to be a part of the queer community. Thank you to all of my guests for saying yes to this project. Thank you to everyone who helped me bring this to life. There's just one more thing left to say, which is be yourself. And if you're not there yet, that's okay. Just know that you have a whole community behind you. We got you. And with that said, say it with me one last time. Remember, stay queer, stay weird. Have a beautiful day, everyone.